The Chattanooga Mocs 2014 campaign came to a close on Saturday with a first-round loss at the hands of Furman. Here to recap their 22-win season is Zack Kirby, sports editor at the Daily Echo. Hi, Zach.
Hello.
So, can you please recap Will Wade's second year as head coach at UTC for us?
Yes. Well, as far as the regular season goes, Coach Will Wade had a lot of record-breaking years. Gave Chattanooga their first 20-win season since 1993-94, and he also had this was the first year he officially could install his system with his players. And the system that he wants to install is called Chaos, and it's kind of an up-tempo style play similar to Virginia Commonwealth, where he used to coach at. Their style was called Havoc, and so he derived Chaos from Havoc, kind of. And so this was the first year that teams could really get a taste of what Chaos was all about. And I think that Chattanooga's versatility helped them win a lot of games. I think that there are 3 teams right now that got NCAA bids, Robert Morris, Coastal Carolina, and Wofford, all teams that Chattanooga has beaten in the regular season. And so it was very kind of devastating and unfortunate that the season had to end at the hands of Furman, a team that UTC was able to sweep during the regular season.
All right, and shout out to Coach Wade and Coach Long for following Madness Breakdown on Twitter. They were the first coaches to follow us. Very kind of them. Now, Zach, can you please explain to us Coach Wade's decision not to play in any postseason basketball tournaments if they were selected?
Well, yeah, I believe that the decision was ultimately left up to the seniors. And one senior, Ronrico White, is going to go down as one of the best players in the history of our school. He finished with 1,100 points for his career. The other 2 guys were more of kind of role players, not necessarily finding significant minutes in the rotation. But the biggest thing was that this team was supposed to be in the championship, where the expectations were that the SoCon championship would be decided between Wofford and Chattanooga, and one of those teams would go to the NCAA tournament based off of how they did in the regular season. Wofford was 16-2. Chattanooga finished 15-3 with split matchups between Wofford. And so I think the decision was to not play in a postseason tournament is because, well, if they didn't get to what they expected to do this season, then I think they feel like playing another game, maybe at home or in like a CIT tournament like they did last year, it's just kind of a letdown just because the season's already kind of over.
Okay. Now, for people who are filling out their brackets who are not familiar with Wofford's program, what can you say about their team?
Well, Wofford, one thing they do is they take care of the ball really well. What they've been able to do this season is rely on 2 guys that kind of make their team go. One is a name that he's kind of got nationally known as Carl Cochran. He's their 2 guard, and he was SoCon Player of the Year. He was 6'1", and I believe he led the team in scoring, steals, assists, and at one point rebounds as well. The guy can get all over the floor. He can spread the floor so well. And one thing that I noticed one of the commentators on ESPN2 said is the way he's able to sprint off of ball screens and get open for a 3-point shot. The way he goes, he will run along the baseline, and what he's very good at is having his teammates set a screen for him, and he sprints. A lot of guys, maybe not necessarily do that, but he runs full speed and really finishes the play, and he's very good at catching and shooting on the jump as well while doing fadeaways and things like that. I mean, he can light it up from the floor. The other guy is Lee Skinner. He's like 6'6", 4'5", position, very undersized for his position, but he's very good at playing under the rim, and he's also good at creating separation and getting to the line, and he was the SoCon tournament MVP. So those are 2 guys to watch. Another guy that's a good contributor on their team is Spencer Collins. I know he's put up numbers, but I think one thing that's going to hurt Wofford going into this tournament is just how undersized they are. I think their tallest guy in their rotation is about 6'6", 6'7", including Skinner and another guy, and so I think that's going to hurt, especially if they get matched up with a high-tier Division I program that most likely has 2 or 3 guys maybe that are 6'8" or taller. That could cause some matchup troubles for Wofford, and Chattanooga was really able to exploit that in the regular season. with Justin Toyo, who is the force behind what Chattanooga's been able to do. He was Defensive Player of the Year in the conference, standing at 6'10". He was able to cause some problems for Skinner and Wofford inside. So I think if a team can do similar to what Chattanooga did in the regular season, and kind of limit Wofford inside the post and kind of outman them and really put some bodies up against their undersized guys, other teams should be able to utilize what they're able to do, what their other strengths should be able to be.
All right, great insight on Wofford there. Going into next year, who's going to man Wade's chaos?
Well, the funny thing is, Chattanooga no doubt should be the preseason favorite to win the Southern Conference and go to the NCAA tournament, because Wofford is losing Cochran and Skinner, who are both seniors, so that leaves it wide open. As far as guys that are going to man, Ronrico White was the only senior to leave the team, so look for Justin Toyo, the 6'10 center, to really be a force inside the paint for Chattanooga. He finished the season 4th in the nation in blocks per game. He finished the season with 104 blocks, and he averaged 3.3 a game. The guy's a straight-up rim protector. He's been compared to Jarvis Bernardo, the former SEC standout at Mississippi State, and played a couple years in the NBA. But the way he's able to just defend the rim defensively and really just swat, anyone that comes in the lane, but not necessarily even get a block, just alter shots because of his height, something Chattanooga didn't have 2 seasons ago, which really hurt them. And so having a guy like that in the middle is no doubt one of their strong suits. The other guy is Casey Jones, probably the most versatile guy on the team, 6'5", 200. He can dribble the ball on the floor. He has a good post spin move to where he can take mid-range shots. Something that he didn't really have developed last year, and he really was leaps and bounds better in that this year. Still doesn't really have that much of a three-point shot, but if anyone can attack the rim on the team, it's Casey Jones. And he's really the offensive factor that can drive the force for this team, because Toyo's a little bit limited as far as offensive post moves go. He's going to need to get more polished next season in that, because his defense is fine. But as far as offense goes, you got to look at Casey Jones as a guy that he's kind of the do-it-all guy and the most versatile man on the team.
All right. And yeah, Toyo is an absolute blast to watch. For those of you who have not had a chance to see him yet, I highly recommend looking up some of his YouTube videos. Toyo and Jones in 2015, 2016. Sounds crazy, but it's right around the corner. Zachary, thank you for coming on and enlightening us today.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right.